Hi everyone, Carolyn Elliott here, and you are listening to the Alchemical Journey. So today I figured we'd talk a little bit about the evening part of the Alchemical Journal practice. So I'll go over again what is entailed in it, and then I want to share with you some stories about how this has recently been furthering my own journey, and hopefully those will be inspiring and motivating to you. I know when I hear stories from other magicians about ways that things have unfolded for them, it can be pretty inspiring. So, the evening alchemical journal practice. What we do is we associate the habit with something that we always do anyways. So for me, I associate my evening alchemical journal habit with stretching before I go to sleep. I need to stretch before I go to sleep, or else I will be all stiff and yucky in the morning. So it's sort of like a must-do habit for me. So when I know that it's about time for me to stretch before I go to sleep, I will grab my journal, I'll do my stretches, brush my teeth, get my water, get in bed and do some journaling before I get ready to go off to dreamland. So I do suggest finding an evening habit that's a must-do for you and tying your evening alchemical journal habit to that, so you have a way of signaling to yourself like, okay, it's time to do this now. Otherwise, it can be very easy to forget, especially, you're tired, it's been a long day, maybe you've eaten some food, you've been hanging out, you've been watching Netflix. It can be easy to forget to do your practice. Okay, so in the evening, what we do is first we reflect on what in the day has had resonance with or had rhymes with our tarot card of the day, the astrology of the day, and our nighttime dreams of the previous night. So we make some little notes about those, and sometimes I have tons of notes about them, and sometimes I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's just not super obvious, but we do our best to find the connections. And we keep up this practice because when the connections are there to be found, they can be so amazing and so inspiring. And I will tell you more about that later. Then the next part of the practice is to ask ourselves, what was the most profound thought or experience that I had today? And sometimes, I'm like, gee, God, I don't know. I didn't think of anything profound today. I thought of my grocery list and how I need to do the laundry and I need to do my bookkeeping, and nothing profound happened. So sometimes it's a stretch, and sometimes what I end up writing down is, something cool that I read somewhere. And it's like, hey, it wasn't an original profound thought, but it was a profound thought, and it went through my mind today. So here it goes. Next, what we do is we ask ourselves, what have I done today to weaken a draining habit? So I like to say draining habit instead of bad habit because, good and bad brings in this kind of moralizing element for a lot of people. And it's really not about moralizing. It's just about what habits do I have that drain my energy and make it harder for me to have the life force that I need to accomplish my aims and feel good. And what habits, support my energy and help me feel stronger and more vital. So, I have plenty of vices and I'm always on a project to, lessen one or the other of them. So I'll make a note. Today I had absolutely no nicotine. Or today I had decaf coffee instead of regular coffee. Or today I managed not to do any aimless scrolling on social media. So you just sort of, pat yourself on the back for what you did today to weaken a draining habit. Maybe all that I did was, I bought coffee that's half caffeinated and half regular instead of buying fully regular coffee. But that's what I did today to weaken my habit. Or maybe what I did today was I drank a whole bunch of lemon water instead of having a nightcap after dinner. Whatever it is, write that down. Next, you think about, what do I want to do tomorrow to help accomplish my aims, my goals, my projects? And you just sort of make a little list, like, tomorrow I want to record another little audio series thing, and I want to order some more books on this topic that I'm researching, and I want to write a little essay about such and such. Those are kind of the things that I write down. I'm sure we all have our own things that we do. And you don't have to break it down into into teeny tiny next actions at this point, because that's something you can do the next morning as part of your morning alchemical journal practice. But it just kind of, I find at least, it really helps to the day previous set some intentions for what I'm going to accomplish the following day. Because have you ever had this happen? Like, you just wake up and you have a whole day ahead of you, and you're like, what should I do today? What am I going to do today? And you just kind of dither around because you haven't previously decided what's important for you to work on that day. So with this little part of our evening alchemical journal practice, we just cut out some of that dithering. We just, have already thought about and have already decided what's going to be some of the best use of our energy tomorrow. And again, sometimes the best use of our energy is just relaxing. I'm going to take a bath. I'm going to get a massage. I'm going to hang out with my friends. That's what will be most fulfilling and awesome for me tomorrow. So you can write that down too. Okay, next we update our habit grids. So habit grids are something that recently became popular with the whole bullet journaling phenomenon. So if you want to know what a habit grid is, because I don't have a picture handy for you, you can go investigate that other secular journaling practice, bullet journaling. You can search bullet journaling habit grids, and I'm sure the internet will show you a zillion images, and some of them will be very fancy and artistic, and some of them will be very bare bones. Mine tends to be very bare bones and usually barely legible, but legible enough. So a habit grid, sort of the general idea is you write horizontally on a piece of paper in your journal. I usually keep mine in the back of my journal. Like 4 or 5 habits that you are working on consistently building. And you can include alchemical journaling in itself in there. And I usually have things like taking my supplements and vitamins each day, doing some kind of exercise each day, whether it's just walking or stretching or weightlifting or something. Maybe, if I'm feeling especially ambitious, it might be I'm practicing a specific magical ritual each day, like maybe I'm learning the greater ritual of the pentagram or the star ruby or something. So I'm going to put that in there. And, just like whatever habits you've decided that it's going to be useful for you to cultivate, because part of being effective in life, right, is we have all these little things that we need to do connected to our projects, or not little things necessarily, but project-specific things. And then we have these things that we need to do that are just connected to the ongoing maintenance of our health and well-being, and also, our spiritual development that need to be done over and over again. They need to be habitual. So the habit grid is the way that we sort of address that. So, and then you have, going down vertically on the vertical part of the page, a list of the days of the month. So just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right? So then on the first of the month, in the evening for my alchemical journal practice, I'm going across my habit grid and I'm being like, okay, well, I get a little dot today for alchemical journaling because I'm doing it right now. Yay. Maybe I don't get a dot that day for exercise, so I give myself a little dash. Maybe I was just sort of lazing around. And then maybe I get a little dot for I remembered to take all of my supplements. I took every last one of them. Awesome. And then, hold on, there's some, 1 second. There's like, I don't know, what is that? A giant, oh, there's a helicopter. There is a life flight helicopter going overhead. Sorry, everybody. I do these while I walk around my neighborhood, so I am exposed to the elements. So that was a helicopter. Okay, next, maybe I get a little dot for I did my star ruby today. And I get a little dot for I meditated today. And I get a little dash for, maybe I didn't stay on a keto diet. And that's something that I'm trying to do. And I ate a bunch of pizza and it did not happen. So I give myself a little dash. Okay. So, over time, so you do this every day, and you get a sense, by looking at your grid and being honest with yourself, obviously, like, all right, these are the habits that I am pretty good and pretty solid with, and I'm doing them every day. And these are the habits that I keep, telling myself that I'm going to do, but I don't actually do them, hence all these dashes. So when you start seeing that, then you're like, okay, well, maybe I need to do some, emotional inner work surrounding this thing. Like, I need to find out what are my triggers for reaching for the pizza. I need to do some existential kink on surrounding my resistance to exercise. These sorts of things. We start applying what I like to call solve et coagula practices, and that's a big thing that we work on in the wealth community that I run. Wealth, by the way, if you haven't heard, is an alchemical community. It's exclusive. It's made up of leaders from all around the world who've been hand-selected. It's by application only. And it's a membership where leaders come into their full power via the Hermetic arts. And we have a whole lot of fun things in there that I can tell you more about shortly. But by the way, Wealth is reopening for application in September 2020. So that's something to keep in mind. Where was I? Oh yes, solve et coagula. We work with that in Wealth. So if I'm not keeping up with a habit that I'm telling myself I want to do, I need to start applying solve et coagula practices to it so that I can work on dissolving whatever inhibitions or limiting beliefs or, old emotional reactions are preventing me from having the habits that I want to have. And that is a big part of the great work. That's a big part of aligning our conscious and our unconscious wills, is making it so that our habits, what is it when something becomes habitual? Well, we've taken something conscious, like a conscious decision, like I want to do some kind of exercise each day, and we've made that into we've made it unconscious. We've made it so if I don't exercise today, I feel off. Like I'm just automatically going to exercise because I'm so used to doing some form of movement each day. Right? So making the conscious unconscious is a huge part of magic, just like making the unconscious conscious is a huge part of magic. It's this kind of figure eight sort of lemniscate relationship between the conscious and the unconscious mind that we're working on here. Okay, so I think that sort of gives us an overview of the evening Alchemical Journal practice. Let's see, what else did I want to say? Oh, yes. So I wanted to talk about this matter of reflecting on our tarot card, our astrology, and our dreams, and what that can do for us. And I actually think I'm going to do that in our next episode. So I'll sign off for today. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.